What is up, guys? Randomonium here. Today we're going to be doing a beginner's guide to the new Aatrox that was recently reworked. I know this is a very polarizing rework right now within the community. A lot of Aatrox mains are very unhappy, and I understand why. New Aatrox is pretty much nothing like old Aatrox. They converted him from an auto attack based champion to basically a caster based champion. And I can understand why people are upset with this rework. That said, I'm really enjoying the new Aatrox. I'm having a lot of fun with him. He fits my playstyle very well. And I was kind of surprised when I saw that there wasn't a lot of educational content surrounding the new Aatrox. A lot of people were either just complaining about it, or they were basically saying, they're doing clickbait videos. They're doing meme videos saying, oh my god, he's so broken, blah, 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 blah. They weren't actually going into, the actual strengths and weaknesses of the new Aatrox. So this is my attempt to make something educational about the new Aatrox. Obviously, I'm not an expert with the new Aatrox. He's newly released, and you can't be an expert this quickly on a champion, but I'm going to do my best to kind of talk about his runes and talk about how you build him and his matchups and things like that, strengths and weaknesses. And this will also really be a video on top lane, how to control top lane, minion wave management, macro decision making, how to punish an enemy, things like that. So I think you'll be pretty happy with this video, even if you're not planning on maining the new Aatrox. This is a very good video to watch just to learn some of those fundamentals that you need in order to be successful in the top lane. So you can see that we're going up against a Garen. Garen is actually apparently one of Aatrox's harder matchups. I didn't really have that much trouble against Garen. I struggle more against people like Quinn, people who can really kind of bully Aatrox. But I know I can understand why Garen is difficult with his silence. But you can see that I'm coming up, I'm making sure that I last hit. But I'm kind of positioning myself aggressively. I've already got level 2. He's only level 1, so I'm going to be positioning myself aggressively. And then once I finish my Q, my third Q, and my Q's on cooldown, I need to retreat, because that's Garen's window to attack me. So you can see I'm already warding here. This might have been a bad ward because the mark for Kindred, who's the opposing jungler, is on the bot side of the map. So she's most likely on the bot side. But you can see that I'm kind of punishing him, and the last thing I want to do is wind up giving first blood because I'm being too aggressive. For my runes that I'm running in this game, I'm running Comment. I feel like Comment is the most stable or consistent rune on Aatrox for a keystone. I'm running Nimbus Cloak, Transcendence, Scorch, and then Domination secondary. So this was a mistake that Garen made right here. He went in to try and get a couple minions, and I kind of all in him. I've got Ignite. He does not. He's got TP, so I'm able to get a kill pretty easily, and now I'm just going to try and push in the wave as fast as possible, because I know the Garen's going to try and TP. So yeah, I'm running Comet, Nimbus Cloak, Transcendent, Scorch, and then I'm running Domination secondary with Sudden Impact and Ravenous Hunter. I feel like this is the most common rune setup on Aatrox. If you're in a matchup that you don't feel like you're very strong into, like a range matchup, like a Teemo or a Quinn or a Gnar or something like that, you can run Resolve secondary, or you can even run Resolve primary with either Aftershock or Grasp of the Undying, though I do think that Comment is better. I've seen other people make cases for other keystones. I personally think Comment is kind of what you're going to be your go-to, your bread and butter for most matchups. Situationally, other keystones may be better, but Comet's kind of like your starter keystone that you should go to. I prefer Ignite over Teleport right now, especially with the Teleport nerfs. I feel like it gives me a lot more presence in lane. I can go for those early kills and really kind of snowball the game out of control. So you can see that I've already got a kill with my Ignite. I've already got a healthy CS lead. And you can see anytime he tries to go to get a CS, I'm trying to trade with him. And I'm basically always kind of trying to trade with him. I've already got my Phage, and you can see that I'm kind of basically setting it up so that the wave's always going to be pushing into me. And that's really going to be kind of like the entire game, is I'm going to just basically constantly zone him off of CS and make it so that it makes it very hard for him to go in. So you can see right there, I kind of baited him a little bit. I used my Q to try and get him to punish me while my Q was on cooldown. I knew Gragas was there, made it a very easy gank. Gragas gets the body slam flash, And now Garen's already down 2-0, and I've got double his CS already at 5 minutes. And it's only going to get worse from this point onward. So this is basically, laning phase is over for the Garen. He's lost. He doesn't have his teleport. And yeah, things are going to get bad. So I'm going to recall again. I'm going to get more items. And I've already got a pretty healthy EXP lead on him. So yeah, Comment, definitely the rune that I prefer. I think that I've seen some people recommending Conquer. I feel like that might be a trap rune on Aatrox. And the reason for that is that Aatrox only heals off of his physical damage. So if you run Conquer on Aatrox, you need to understand that you're going to be cutting the amount of healing that you get from both his E and also from if you build Death Stance. So just keep that in mind. That's a huge trade-off, as you're basically going to reduce your healing by 20% because 20% of the damage you're going to deal is going to be true damage, which you're not going to gain healing from. So that's why I feel it's kind of a trap. But yeah, that's kind of personal opinion. I think Comment's much better. As far as items are concerned, the two items that I feel are kind of really core on Aatrox right now are Black Cleaver and Death Stance. Typically, I'll go Black Cleaver if I'm going into a tank matchup or if I'm going into a Juggernaut matchup. And I'll go Death Stance if I'm going against more of a carry type champion, because it gives you the resistance to burst damage and it also gives you more sustained against poking champions. But since I'm going up into Garen, I'm going to go Black Cleaver first item, so I can basically cut through any armor he tries to build, and should be good. So you can see that I'm just constantly zoning him off of CS. You know, anytime I have a minion that's low, I'm basically standing right next to that minion, making it so that he can't really get it. You see I'm dropping a pink ward, and I'm starting to go for invade. So I saw the Kindred. I'm going to look to see if I can get some jungle camps and slowly make my lead even better. So you can see I'm up 46 CS to 21 CS, and I'm continuing to try and basically, you know, not only starve out the Garen, but also starve out the Kindred. So anytime the lane is slow pushing back towards you is a good time to try and roam and invade. But you want to get back to your lane by the time that the wave crashes into your tower, because ultimately you would like to set up a freeze if you can. Because a freeze will basically allow you to just zone the person off of a huge amount of CS. So you can see right now I returned to lane. I'm pretty much full health. I've got an extra camp, and the lane is pushing towards me. So now the Garen can't go near these minions at all. I can basically just stand right next to these minions. If he tries to come up and last hit them, I all in him, he dies. So he's in a horrible, horrible position. He didn't get any of those minions, and now we've got basically a perma-freeze setup. He can't approach this minion wave. He can't do anything. So he's in a bad shape right now. He can't really do much of anything without help from either his mid laner or his jungler. I'm just going to continue this freeze. I'm going to thin this wave a little bit, because in order to have a perma-freeze, all you need is 4 casters, and that'll basically set up a permanent freeze. I'm going to save a few more than that, because I'm worried that I might break my freeze by inadvertently hitting them with my Q. But yeah, you can see pretty healthy CS lead right now over him, and I'm just going to keep this freeze as long as I can, and it's basically going to deny him CS, it's going to deny him farm, and there's not much he's going to be able to do about it. So Garen's been missing for a while. He's probably raging at his team or something similar, but yeah, things are going quite well. And yeah, you can see that I'm not freaking out. I'm not doing anything crazy. The only time that I would break this freeze is if I saw the Garen roaming bot lane. I would break the freeze, and I would start to try and hard push and try and get the tower. So you can see my team is trying to contest Drake right now, and I'm basically just making it so the Garen can't go near any of this farm. He basically is just losing out on most of these minions. And yeah, so I dropped minion aggro in the bush. I missed my W, unfortunately. But, you know, I'm basically pushing him off constantly. There's not much he can really do. So now my freeze is broken. I don't have enough minions to maintain the freeze. Now it's going to be starting to slow push towards him. But I don't want to fast push. I want to slow push towards him. That'll build up the minion wave, and I could potentially dive him once it gets to his tower, and I can deny him even more. So I hit him with my W. I go in. He's running away. And yeah, he loses a lot of his health just by doing that one trade with me. I still have my ultimate. I still can all in him whenever I want. So you can see I'm just slow pushing. Anytime there's a minion low, I'm just standing next to that minion. He can't get it at all. And that lead is just slowly growing. Oh, I'm just getting worse and worse for him. I pop my ultimate because I'm worried about his ultimate. He winds up flashing away. That's a good trade for me because his flash is obviously a 5-minute cooldown, and my ultimate is a much lower cooldown than that. So you can see it's already 81 CS to 30 CS. Kindred comes in for a gank. Very good timing on her gank, actually. I try to bait that I'm going to all in her, but I wind up having to blow my flash. But I let the Gragas know that the Garen has blown his flash, so the Gragas can go in. He's going to be able to get the kill on this Garen. So the Garen's even more denied now because he's not getting any of that CS. He's in a really bad shape. So you can see 81 CS to 34 CS. I've already got my Black Cleaver completed. I've got my boots. I'm going to be able to chase him even more. He's just in a very, very bad spot right now. And the wave is slow pushing back towards me again because it crashed into the tower. It now is slow pushing back. And as long as I can catch this wave before it hits the tower, I can set up another freeze and I can deny him even more. This is how you just pretty much destroy people in lane. As you get this advantage, you set up a freeze, you make it so they can never come near the minion wave without risk dying, and they basically become useless. There's nothing they can do unless they get a lot of help from their jungler or they get a lot of help from their mid laner. There's nothing they can do. A lot of people make the mistake of constantly pushing when they're ahead. That's the wrong move. If you really want to deny people, if you really want to make people useless, you want to freeze. And it's incredibly powerful. You can see, so I don't know where he is. I see that the Garen is fighting, the Gragas is fighting the Kindred by Rift. So I head down there to help her out, and we wind up being able to get the kill. And we also wind up being able to get the Rift Herald, and Garen basically comes in and suicides. He's already 2 levels behind me. There's not much he can do. Wind up getting up a double kill. The lane is still frozen on my side. So he still hasn't gotten CS. He's still not getting experience. So he's just in a horrible, horrible position right now. I'm going to thin out this wave. I think I actually wind up pushing it and trying to reset. Because I think he just got teleport. I'm going to try and draw out his teleport right now. If I can. Because then it will be on cooldown and I can kill him. And then I can basically deny him a whole bunch of more CS. So you got to always be thinking a little bit ahead. With all these maneuvers, you want to have a reason for why you're pushing, a reason for why you're freezing. Never just blindly push, never just blindly freeze. So yeah, I draw out his teleport. Now he's not going to have it. So the wave is going to reset. It's going to push back towards me. He only got a couple CS. So he wasted his teleport for like 2 CS. And now the wave is pushing back towards me. So now you can see I'm denying him CS. Anytime a CS gets slow, I basically just step up. He can't get it. If he wants to try and trade with me, I land my W. He's going to lose that trade. Yep. So you can see that he's just constantly losing the trade. And it's just bad news for him. And I'm not too worried because none of my team's towers are low, so I'm not worried about first tower gold going over to someone else. If another one of my team's towers was low, then I probably would be pushing a bit more, maybe trying to get the first tower. But yeah, you can see this is just kind of brutal at this point. He's got 35 CS at 13 minutes to my 108. And my CSing is not that good. I should have more CS than I already have. So you can see I get the kill. This is a huge mistake here. I thought I popped my ultimate, but I didn't, and I almost died because of it. I think I pressed R when I was silenced, and I wind up almost killing myself. But usually what I'll do is when I tower dive, I pop my ultimate, I'll kill him, and then I'll continue to attack the tower even while my ultimate is active, even if I have tower aggro, because when you die and you revive, you drop tower aggro, and that basically allows your minions to stay alive for longer, which means you can deal more tower damage. And usually you'll actually revive with more health than you started out with after the tower dive. So you can see now Garen's 050, I'm 302. I've got about 3 times his CS. We're not even at the 15-minute mark yet. The wave is slow pushing into me again. So yeah, there's nothing he can do. It's going to slow push into me again. I'm going to freeze it again. And basically if he steps up, I'm going to kill him, and I'll push his wave, and I'll reset the wave again. I'm just going to do this over and over and over again, and there's very little that he can do. So now that I've finished my Black Cleaver, I'm going to go into Death Stance next. That's going to make me very difficult to kill. I'll be able to 1v2 or 1v3, potentially. And yeah, so you see, anytime a minion's low, I walk over towards that minion I make it so that he can't get that minion. And I'm just standing next to my minions. Nothing he can do. He's just completely zoned away from any CS that he could possibly get. Yeah, so this is how you dominate from top lane. Once you get this advantage, you just constantly set up the waves, you constantly slow push. So you can see now I was a little bit worried that he might have been roaming down. So I started trying to push, but then he shows back up again. So then I immediately try to all-in him. I blow his flash. Now he doesn't have a flash. He doesn't have teleport. So I can push. I can potentially dive him. My ultimate's coming up soon. So I'm definitely looking to be a little bit more aggressive, especially since the Drake is up. Basically what I'm forcing them to decide whether they want to abandon the Garen or they want to contest the Drake. So I'm trying to play a little bit more aggressive right now to bait someone into helping the Garen out. Because if they don't help him out, I'm going to kill him. I'm going to take his tower again. And it's going to be a bad situation for him. So you can see I'm kind of poking at him. He got a few of those CS, but not much. So yeah, I'm trying to create as much pressure as possible, because if I get the Kindred to come top, that means my team gets a free Drake. And that's what I'm going for. So I'm trying to think about the objective game. I'm basically making them choose between two bad choices right now. Yeah, I think this is an all-in. I think I'm going to kill him pretty easily here. He uses his ultimate. I pop my ultimate. And you can see I stay around. And the minions stay alive for a bit longer. I revive. And we're in a pretty good spot to take the tower. So yeah, that's pretty much it right now. He's died again. He's 0-6-0. I'm 4-0-2. Still have, over 3 times his CS, and now I'm going to take his tower. Now, when possible, when you're taking someone's tower, you want to leave as few minions up as possible. So you see I take the tower, there's only 1 minion remaining. This ensures that the wave is going to push back towards me again. If you kill the tower with a full wave of minions underneath the tower, the wave will continue to push. But since the tower died with only 1 minion left there, the wave is going to start pushing back towards me. I can set up another freeze, and he's going to be denied even more minions. So yeah, he's just in a horrible, horrible spot right now. See, I backed. I have most of my components for my Death Stance. I picked up Ninja Tabbies because their entire team is AD besides the Zillion. So most of their damage threats are AD. Garen, Kindred, Fiora, and Ashe are all AD. I was looking to maybe make a play mid lane, but then I see that there's not much going on and that Garen's pushing, and I can't let him get CS. I want to keep denying him as much as possible. So I'm basically going to come up and establish my freeze again, potentially kill him again. So yeah, as you can see, I say, nope, you're not allowed to have that CS. I'm going to come in, basically all in you, ignite you, and you're dead. So the big thing with Aatrox is you need to learn the range with his Q. That's obviously the hardest part. It can be difficult against people who are super mobile, but you can always, if you're against like a really mobile champion, you want to kind of wait for them to use their mobility in an offensive manner, and then you can reposition with your E and use your Q defensively to get the knockup. And once you land one of the knockups, you can usually land the rest of them. The big one that you really want to land, obviously, is your third knockup. That deals the most damage, is also the easiest to hit, in my opinion. So yeah. You see I push the wave in, I take his Gromp, I'm going back up, I'm going to take Scuttle Crab. Basically, the way you just take over the game as Aatrox or any top laner is you just constantly are just taking as many resources as possible. You see I take, all of the top lane farm. I take as much of the jungle as I can. I take Scuttle Crabs when I can. I'm rotating down to help my team secure Drake. And I was also going to steal that juicy wave in the bot lane, but I saw Jhin was walking over there, and I didn't want to be an asshole. So yeah, if I wanted to be really rude, I would have taken that juicy wave, and I would have been even more ahead. But whatever. Kind of seeing if I can bait somebody into it, possibly a kill. Not much is going on, so yeah, I'm I'm always trying to maximize my farm. I'm always trying to constantly keep my level lead up. Because if I lose my level lead, then I'm in serious trouble. Aatrox is really strong in the early game, but he struggles in the late game, especially late game team fights as if he's not ahead. You can see that I pinged that I'm going to go bot lane. I feel like Jin is probably better mid lane with the rest of the group. I'm not very good in a group situation. That's something that I've noticed about that people don't seem to understand about the new Aatrox. Is new Aatrox is not a team fighter. He's really much better in a side lane. He's much better split pushing. He's much better skirmishing. He's much better 1v1ing, 1v2ing, things like that. He's just really, really strong in 1v1s at any point in the game. But people seem like they want a team fight with him, and he's not a very good team fighter. When there's a lot of CC going around, he has difficulty hitting his Qs, and he kind of just becomes useless. So when possible, especially if you're ahead, you want to keep split pushing. You want to keep trying to skirmish. You want to keep trying to create pressure, because people shouldn't be able to 1v1 you, so they're going to have to send 2 people to stop you. And if they have to send 2 people to stop you, then that means that the rest of your team is in a favorable situation. Right now my team is pushing. As soon as they get the tower, they should be backing off and they should be going top lane. It doesn't look like they're doing that, so they're missing that massive wave in top lane, which makes me very sad. But yeah, that's something you can keep in mind, is like every lane should be trying to maximize their farm. There was that massive lane, top lane, that they just kind of, got eaten by the tower when it should have been eaten by either the Lux or the Jhin. So you can see I'm kind of posturing. I'm kind of trying to see if I can maybe get a pick or something like that. I see that there's a ward there, so I'm going to clear that out, and I can just easily E over into the Dragon Pit. No problem. All right. Let's see where we're at with the score. 187 to 62. So I've Flame Horizon, the Garen, doing pretty damn well for myself. I've got the highest CS in the game. I'm constantly just stealing as many camps as I can. Anytime a Scuttle Crab is up, I'm stealing that. Anytime there's other jungle camps up, I'm stealing that. Fiora comes in. She pops her ultimate to gain the movement speed on me, and I'm basically running at this point. I pop my ultimate, so I gain more movement speed. My team is doing a good job collapsing. I'm kind of thinking, maybe we disengage. They're thinking go in. So we kind of are a bit scattered at this point. Kindred uses her ultimate. Zillion uses his ultimate. And yeah, I kind of tunnel visioned on the Kindred, but I'm able to get over the wall. I'm able to do the flash Q, and we're able to get the kill with the Lux ultimate, and then Garen also sacrifices himself. So pretty good play by my team. They actually collapsed pretty well. I was kind of being greedy with that Scuttle Crab. You can see that I'm staying even though I'm low health, because I know I'm going to heal it up with my Q and my refillable potion. As you can see, I'm already half health again. My team's starting Baron. I rotate over because I see that the Gragas is low health, so I want to try and tank for him. But this is basically a free Baron at this point. Kindred's dead. There's no way they can contest us. And yeah, just all around solid play. Team's doing good. I think I'm doing really well myself. And you can see that I'm highest level in the game, most CS in the game. I'm pretty sure I have the most gold in the game too. So I'm basically just in a really good position to carry. Now that we have Baron, that makes my split pushing even better. I know some people complain that Aatrox takes towers too slowly, but he's not really about necessarily taking towers quickly. He's about creating the pressure in the side lane, and he just becomes a really, really good duelist. So there's not much he can really do to, nobody can really 1v1 him as long as he's ahead. We saw that they were in our jungle real fast. So we come over. Fortunately, my Zyra dies, but Kindred will pay with it with her death as well. You can see I'm landing my Qs. Missed one of those. I pop my ultimate because I'm worried that there might be a chance that they're able to kill me. And also I gain more movement speed. Get the ultimate, E over the wall, and you can see I'm back to farming again. So after every single fight, you don't want to chase. You just want to try and maximize your efficiency and farm. Right now, one of my teammates should be going bot lane to clear that bot lane wave. Jhin looks like he's going over there. I'm going to go top lane, get top lane pushing in our favor. And then once that happens, then we should be able to knock down some of these outer towers. Sorry, the inner towers. And the inhibs, potentially. So you can see now, 25 minutes into the game, I've got 200 over 200 CS, still going up. Garen's at 62 CS at 25 minutes. Not a very good showing for him. You can see that I've got a massive farm lead over everyone, massive level lead over everyone, and this is how you basically win with an early game champion like Aatrox. The same is true with people who are like Renekton, Pantheon. You have to get that level lead, and you have to maintain that level lead, and you have to maintain that gold lead. And especially nowadays with how shutdown gold works, you cannot die. Like, you cannot die when you're this far ahead. The shutdown gold that you give them is like 1,000 gold nowadays. So you cannot give up kills when you are super fed like this. It's just there's way too many ways for teams to come back into the game if you wind up dying. So you can see that I'm playing conservative, but I'm still trying to create as much pressure as I can. So we're able to get the tower. Garen kind of foolishly defends. I popped my ultimate. That was probably a little bit too early for me to pop my ultimate. We're able to get the kill, and we're starting to push down this inhib. I probably should have saved my ultimate for when we were doing the inhib, but yeah, it is what it is. Team, I think, is overstaying a little bit here. I try to go in to try and help. I think I wind up, you wind up getting stunned, and I wind up getting killed. Yeah, so that was a mistake on my part. I think we overstayed a little bit. We should just reset and look to maybe either push top lane or bot lane. So I wind up giving over that kill that I didn't want to give over. That was a lot of gold that I gave over. But I think that's the only kill that I wind up giving this game. So as long as you limit your deaths to like 1 or 2 maximum, and especially if you don't die when Baron is up, because usually if you're like the most fed person on your team and you die, that usually means that the enemy team gets Baron. So you got to be really careful of that. So I've got another 10 seconds before I'm respawning, so I'll speed things up. So yeah, this is how you play Aatrox. This is how you play top laners, especially early game top laners. This is how you kind of take over the game. You can see that Garen is useless. He's 0-10-0. Doesn't even have 100 CS yet. We're almost at the 30-minute mark. And Kindred's also been hurt a lot too. Like, she's got a pretty decent CS, but I've been stealing camps from her a lot, pretty much making it very hard for her to take over the game, even though she's been playing pretty well. And then the rest of the team, they're doing pretty well. Like, Lux has a lot of kills, but her CS is not very good. So I'm kind of the main carry at this point, even though I'm kind of more of a tank. So now that I've picked up my Black Cleaver, my Death Stance, my Ninja Tabbies, the next item I'm getting is Sterix. I feel like Sterix is a really good item on Aatrox. I pick it up in most of my games. And then also Guardian Angel is obviously a very good item. You kind of want to build Aatrox like other Juggernauts. I feel like Aatrox is a Juggernaut right now. He's kind of a blend between Skirmisher and Juggernaut, but kind of like the real difference that I see between them. And somebody else mentioned this, and I feel like it was an amazing, insightful observation they had. I forget what their name was. I'll try to link their post below, but they said that Skirmishers are champions that have conditional defenses, and Juggernauts are champions that have conditional offenses. And Aatrox is definitely somebody who has conditional offenses. He's if you land his sweet spot on his Q, he deals a massive amount of damage. So he definitely is more of a Juggernaut, I feel, than a Skirmisher. You can see that we're nearing the end of the game. I'm 7-1-7. I think I wind up getting a few more kills. Yeah, 233 CS to 75 CS from Garen. So it did not crack the 100 CS mark by the 30-minute mark. So that's definitely got to hurt. I haven't seen somebody get that low of a CS in a long time. But this is how you play top lane. This is how you play Aatrox. This is how you take over a game, playing a champion that doesn't have necessarily the best scaling, but is incredibly powerful in the early game. So I hope you guys learned a little bit. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a like. If you like the content on my channel, please consider subscribing. I am at my new house, so please let me know if you actually like the new setup that I have. Does my voice sound clear? I messed around with my my settings on my microphone, so hopefully it sounds pretty decent. I was having some issues with some echoing beforehand, so let me know if you guys heard any echoing or any background noise. I'm always looking to improve. But I hope you guys have a fantastic day. This is Randomonium signing off.